It's still not great lighting, huh?
No, never great lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Not when it's in the dark. We're back. Been a
Hello
long
from in the
time,
dark,
as per always, because it's winter time.
and it's dark a lot.
It gets dark a lot. So, hey, that's Teddy.
Well, I closed the door all the way, so
Yeah, they
somebody
just let
must
him
have
out, so you might have to go get Blue
Why did I?
because he's coming out.
Eh,
We got no viewers but one like.
Right on. Woohoo!
Thank you. Oh gosh, he's gonna bark. Do you want me to get him or?
Just leave him. He'll be fine.
Okay.
It's early enough that he can bark.
Okay. He's right there,
Hmm.
staring at us
He's not staring at you.
with his blind eyes.
He's staring toward you.
So, hey, Melissa.
Hi.
Welcome. It's been a while. A lot's been going on. I don't know if anybody cares anymore.
I'm not even sure what's been going on.
Everything.
Okay.
A right-wing coup in Bolivia.
Good for them.
No, they're the bad guys.
Oh, damn it.
That right-wing coup.
Mm.
You know.
Coup, right.
Yeah. But, blah.
Yeah.
They keep opening the door.
That's because there's dogs.
Okay.
And they're dogs that think that they're cats. So they want
Hey,
to be on the
Toots.
other side of the door. Hi.
So I've been like now the YouTube is done. It's toast. It's just unless you want to go there to watch.
They're pretty fucky.
Unless you're wanting to watch like reruns of Rick and Morty or something, there's really no point to YouTube at all.
They're not on YouTube. That's on Adult Swim.
No. Well, anyways, so YouTube's worthless. Besides us, of course, we're the only thing of value left on YouTube.
Yes.
So I've been trying to engage with the so-called rational fucking secular atheists on YouTube. They refuse to talk about anything except for like, you know, the Noah's flood and the flat earth and whatever other retarded shit they've been talking about for 20 fucking years now. They will not fucking be an adult and talk about their own nation at all. What? You're laughing at me again.
Did I say anything? I didn't even laugh.
Okay. So, like, there was a 2-day war in Gaza, and nobody in America news-wise even mentioned it.
I'm dab doing.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, but dab do.
Be careful. So,
Damn it, knocking stuff
I
around.
don't know. What is that glowy thing? Is that
What's glowy?
Is that? Oh, that's the heater.
Oh, there's lots of glowy things.
The glowy orange thingy is the heater.
So here's something new. Our van needs work again.
Yeah, we paid for about a little over a third of the cost. We couldn't afford to get it all done at once, so I put a payment down at the mechanics, and then next month we'll pay off the rest, which means we're gonna have a nice broke-ass fucking Christmas season because all of our money is going into the van. Again.
We're still paying off the loan from the last time we had to get repairs done on the van.
I mean, and it's cheaper than getting a new vehicle, so. And we couldn't even get a new vehicle, so it's like we don't even have an option, but it's cheaper though.
Mm.
When you know. So as much as it sucks.
We got that going for us.
Oh gosh. Well, apparently a couple of years ago when we bought it, we got the front end rebuilt, and apparently they didn't do a really good job, and all the parts that we had put on there need replacing, and then it needs a new alignment because when you replace your ball joints and tie rod ends, you have to do an alignment. So,
Okay, brazing pipes.
raising pipes. Pipe raising screw. So we put 400 down, and then next month we got to pay the balance of 565. So, you know, that's like over a third of our income, or right around 1/3 of them. Well, dude, that's a Honda. That's like if little cars like that, I would do the work myself. The problem is I can't, and plus I don't have a shop, so I couldn't even do an alignment anyways. But if I had my own place, I could do the part changing stuff myself and then just take it in for an alignment, which would have saved, you know, like $300-400 probably. But we currently don't have our own residence, so, or I don't. So that's not an option. Plus, it's a 1-ton van, and
Very big.
and that's a bit more difficult to do than like something like a Honda. I would just do that myself, and then do the work yourself, and then take it in and get the alignment done on it after you get the parts put on.
That was tasty.
But yeah. Well, if we were down
Okay,
there
I'm back.
in California, I'd offer to show you how to do that kind of thing, because parts like that are not too terribly difficult. It's just, you know, if you don't know how to work on vehicles, then you don't know how to
Ball
work on
joints, I would think those are difficult.
Not really, no.
Oh.
She has bad tie rod ends.
Oh.
But yeah, it's not really, it's physical, but it's not like complicated. It's just physical. But with little Hondas, it's not too hard. I can practically pick the car up from the front bumper and pull the wheel off. And so is anybody paying attention to what's going on in the world? Our country's going up in flames. It's really bad.
It's pretty funny.
Oh shit, I guess we should start.
I almost died in an old Honda.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did die in an old Honda.
And then they had to pry you out of the tree. Thank goodness you're still with us, because if you weren't here, I probably wouldn't be here, and then my kiddo would be all alone in the world. So, see, you're important.
Little brain damaged.
Well, yeah, yeah, but you know, hey, Clearly,
Hi.
I see you there.
Yeah, so don't get hit by a truck.
Yeah,
just you know,
just don't.
FYI.
Just, it's not fun. Don't do it. Fuck. Oh yeah. So remember in the summertime, or no, it was way back in spring when I started talking about, hey, there's famine and shit coming like that, right?
Well, back when there was flooding in the spring, so things weren't being planted.
Yeah, so I predicted that there's going to be massive food problems coming to America. And guess what? We're having early winter storms across the Midwest, which is fucking up all the crops. So
Harvesting.
it's basically worst case scenario is what's happening, and it's not even in the news like at all. Like at all.
Nothing to see here.
The only thing, if you turn on the news, you can see in America is Trump and Russia. Trump, 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 Russia, 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 Trump, Russia, Trump, Trump, Russia.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
And they never talk about anything that's actually important happening in the world. This is what a dying empire looks like, is they stop when the people, you can't just blame it on the government or the deep state or whatever. It's the people that are the problem. They've stopped interacting with the world.
The cold front was huge.
Yeah. So there's that. the everything from potatoes to sugar beets, they're all freezing in the ground now, and that's
Not-
fucking
Not
shit up.
good.
Not good. So a lot of that stuff wasn't harvestable because of that in some places, and then some of it got damaged from the freezing. So our food supply for America has taken a big hit this year, and no one's even paying attention to it. It's really, I don't understand how Americans can not care about their own fucking continuing to live.
Well, they just assume that there's enough surplus.
They don't assume anything. They're willfully ignorant.
Well, assume is to make an ass out of you and me.
So so when we were predicting the whole famine thing, it looks like that might actually be coming to be a real thing. Like I said, this year might not be so bad, but if we get the same weather systems like another couple years in a row, it's gonna be yeah, but Americans aren't even fucking caring about that. Not even
That's true.
that.
Well,
not
no,
even.
right now they're only caring about Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump, 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 Trump.
The only time Americans say anything about things happening outside of America is only if it's related to fucking Trump. That's it.
Trump, Ukraine.
In Russia. And they even started it's a thing on Twitter now where they're like, all roads lead to Putin, acting like Trump is some kind of a Putin puppet, and he's not. He's not Putin's puppet. He's everybody's puppet.
He's just a puppet.
Yeah, he's just a puppet. You know, and that's like anybody that shows him a pretty picture gets what they want from him. It's sad. Like, anyway, so that's happening. Did anybody hear about the violent coup happening in Bolivia? Like, I know basically most of the details about it, but no one's talking about that in America. Our government just overthrew a democracy, crushed it. It was an actual legitimate democracy.
And it must be crushed.
And why? For lithium. For oil and lithium, basically. Yeah. And it's like we're destabilizing the entire planet.
Good times.
And I don't know. Lock Nerd covered it. Look Nerd. Look, I forget how you pronounce his name. Yeah. But
Covered what?
The Bolivia thing.
Oh.
Chile. Well, yeah, but no one's talking about Chile because that's actually a legitimate popular uprising against an actual corrupt government. In Evo Morales' defense, he has a great head of hair. So, what's the propaganda being said about Bolivia? Like, oh, it's not a coup. That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to just blow it off as it's not a coup.
It's just a protest.
What it is the top military leaders from the police, the military and whatnot in Bolivia actually trained in America by the CIA. They're owned by the CIA. They're CIA operatives. And they overthrew their government.
His hairline starts to above his eye socket.
So, and that whole thing where they're saying that there was like irregularities in the election, actually a pure lie. It's completely fabricated. Everybody in the world outside of America knows that it was a legitimate election. So that whole thing where they're saying that that they were rigging the election down there is false. That was just their justification for the coup. Try not to eat all the little tobacco pieces.
That would not be good.
Not good so much.
Right.
So it was CIA operatives. And oh yeah, the person who declared themselves fucking the new dictator of Bolivia, is a far right-wing racist. In power for 2 days, and she's already rounding up fucking Cubans to persecute them.
Wow.
Yeah, because Cuba has a lot of doctors, so but the Bolivian coup people are now rounding up Cuban doctors. Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
So let's just get right in with the racist genociding and stuff like that, oppressing of everybody.
Well, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, the Gaza thing, who knows if that's still, it only lasted 2 days, I guess. Dictator of Bolivia. Yeah. And like, oh yeah, and if we want to get to Gaza, you probably already know that what started it all was Israel assassinated 2 PIJ leaders, and then Gaza started launching rockets for 2 days. And
Ow.
but before that whole Gaza battle happened, Israel lost a missile in Syria, and it's from the David Sling system. And then during the Gaza battle, they lost a fucking rocket missile from the Iron Dome system. What I mean lost is they fired them at targets, and then the missiles malfunctioned and didn't detonate, so they're intact. And now Gaza has the Iron Dome missile, and somebody has the David Sling missile. So the Syrian military found it, and they gave it to somebody. Nobody knows who. It's either Iran or Russia, of course. And if Gaza is able to smuggle that missile out of Gaza and get that to Iran, what it means is, the thing about these missiles is they're made by Raytheon. That one came apart on me. I have to put it out.
That's what she said?
Yeah. So these missiles are running all of the American software, all of the electronic warfare countermeasures, their tracking systems, their homing systems. That's all top secret military software. And now Iran and Russia has that. They can reverse engineer the software too. They can pick it apart. And the missile systems themselves. I mean, they got the whole missiles. So what that means is all of our shit's been compromised. It's like, and the thing about it is these systems are encrypted, and that also means that America's enemies now have the keys to our encryption, because they can do computer things with that too. And that means our entire digital life, your internet, your GPS, your Google Maps, it's all compromised now, all the satellites that we have, because our software is now currently being reverse engineered by Russia and Iran, all because of warmongering Israel wanting to fucking attack their neighbors all the time.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So that's a big deal. And that's not in the news at all. That would be, back in the day, a major Walter Cronkite type of a deal.
Yeah. It's been kind of funny with the whole hearing things that's been on, the impeachment hearings things. It's on a TV on each side of the house that, we're not watching it. We can just hear it. And it's just like in stereo from both ends of the house.
And I really don't care too much about it. It's just a circus.
It's all a circus.
Here's what I'm thinking. Trump is guilty, just like all presidents and everybody in Congress, of major war crimes. So if the U.S. government actually cared about democracy and the Constitution and the rule of law and whatever, they wouldn't be talking about some stupid fucking phone calls about Ukraine. They'd be going after him the war crimes, like the blatant one, like where he's like, "We're in Syria for the oil." That's all you need, right there. That's a confession to a goddamn war crime. So this whole thing about the Ukraine phone calls and blah 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 and the quid pro quo, that's all just a circus. That's the circus
Yeah.
to make sure Americans are not talking about anything except for the circus.
Yep.
Because if anybody wanted to actually get rid of a politician for that, it'd be like, it's a war crime, to send them to the fucking Hague to stand trial for war crimes. It's like all the other Nazis. Right. So my point of it is, I think they're doing this circus about the phone call and all this other crap because they're going to impeach him. And remember, impeachment doesn't remove you from office, and impeachment just says, "Yep, you did wrong." So the follow through is the Congress, the House of Reps does the impeachment hearings, and then if you get convicted in the impeachment, you're supposed to have the Senate is supposed to remove you from office, vote to remove you from fucking office. But what they're probably going to do is impeach them and be like, "Yep, you did that." And then they're not going to remove from office. And then it all gets swept under the rug about the war crimes and stuff like that. And they'll move on to the next circus, is what I'm thinking.
Probably.
We heard it on the
Lots of
TVs.
circuses.
I didn't pay attention to it.
That was the stereo
Yeah.
going on.
I really try not to listen to our Congress because nothing they say is real.
I found myself having to listen to music because it was just too mind-boggling to listen to their stupidity.
Yeah. So that's all just a circus to keep everybody distracted, obviously, because no one cares that our government orchestrated a coup in Bolivia. They don't care that we're basically footing over 50% of the bill for Israeli weapons, which they're using to genocide the Palestinians. And we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the war crimes we're doing in Syria. We don't talk about the war crimes we're doing in Iraq. We don't talk about anything real happening in the world today, apparently. It's so frustrating living in a fascist shithole. It's so frustrating when when the vast majority of people willingly or adamantly refuse to care about anything outside of their little, whatever cult they're a part of, whether it's the whole Tulsi Gabbard or Bernie Sanders or Trump or the atheist community, whatever cult people want to, they go into that and then they use that as a shield against reality. And I still don't understand it. I mean, when I was a kid growing up and we studied about World War II and the Nazis and stuff, I was like, how did the civilian population just let it all happen? And now we know. That's crazy. Why would they have that stuff on at work? That's so terrible. Yeah, you probably were the only person that knows what's going on. Because here's a sad fact. If you actually know what's going on in the world, and like when I'm talking about global events and you're like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that." Well, you're more informed than everybody else in America.
Yeah.
You are. Or Canada or wherever you happen to be at in NATO land. I'm like mind blown about the world we live in. I don't know.
Pretty fucked up.
Yeah. And then people try to just blow it off when I'm like, America's coming to an end soon. It's
that makes me want to do some dabs.
Yeah. Like, here's some simple math. Attention Target shoppers. That's funny. I'm sure it's been blasting in every hospital emergency room across America. They have TVs, and I'm sure it's been
probably.
it's nonstop impeachment stuff. I mean, it's there, and who knows where else this stuff plays at. It's so insidious. Is that the word? I think
You know, it's on in every old folks' home.
yeah, every retirement home. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
She's about ready to do some pipe bracing.
Yep.
So that's happening.
Good times.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
I guess
it's hard to see what I'm doing over here.
Do you need the lantern?
No, it's cool, dude.
Okay.
I can eyeball it.
Alrighty.
In the dark.
So, oh, there is some funny things that came out in the news. Did anybody watch the Assad interview? Yeah, you guys clearly has a lot of lives. Hey, Tanya.
Hi.
We're living still, kicking along, dealing with life. Assad did like a 90-minute interview, and he's a funny guy. He's smart though. He's like what you expect from a real leader, like educated, composed. They act with dignity. They think before they speak, and they give real answers.
You mean unlike Trump?
Yeah, or well, unlike anybody in America when it comes to politics and the media.
Okay, here I go.
There we go. Raising the pipes. That so the funny part is even Assad, he's like, yeah, Epstein didn't kill himself. Hey, I lost 22 karma points on a Reddit post or a Reddit response, not my post, because somebody said, I mean, what's with everybody asking Reddit questions? It's kind of silly. So somebody posted a Ask Reddit question, and it was, what's something that's not normal that you and your significant other do? And I said, well, we kidnap small children and sell them to priests and Cub Scout leaders, but not politicians, because Epstein didn't kill himself. And I lost 22 karma points on that one. There you go. I thought Epstein jokes were in style. I guess not so much. Redditor. I was up to like 300 karma, and then I lost 22 of them. So,
I think I have like 350 or something.
Yeah. So that happened. I have another smoke, and then we'll be done.
Alrighty then.
And I'll put the computer back inside for you.
Okay.
But that is one of the funniest things on the internet now. All the Epstein jokes are hilarious. And people have lists of things, and at the end it's like, and Epstein didn't kill himself.
I like the one, it was a coffee board where it like told what all the real things for coffee was. So, you know, Americano was black coffee, and you know, they had a whole list, and then it said Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, zero karma. That's no good. Start trolling people harder.
Well, that's probably that's what happens probably when you don't comment or up or down vote
Right.
things.
What's that noise? Oh, just a train.
I don't comment very much because when I think I'm going to, then I always erase it.
Oh gosh, it's just words. Just, I mean, for crying out loud.
Because I'm like, ah, words!
Yeah, you have no problems doing porn, but writing a comment
That
on
was
something.
before. And yeah, totally.
But writing a comment on it.
Words are hard, unlike porn.
Wait, that's not what he said. So there's that. What else did I have? Oh, and something that didn't get noticed very much was the founder of the Al Nusra propaganda wing, Epstein himself.
You mean he got himself Epstein?
Yeah, he slipped on a banana peel and fell out of his balcony. The funny part. Yeah, exactly.
He died from hanging himself on his knees.
Somebody explained it to me. They're like, you see, he was in his 24/7 monitored prison cell on suicide watch, and they had all these ropes that hold the water pipes up in the cells because that's how it works in prison and all.
Suicide watch. They were gonna watch him suicide.
And he like one of the ropes was tied up like a noose, and Epstein was just going to go fix the ropes to keep the pipes from falling down, and then he slipped and his head went right through the loop, and then he hung himself accidentally. See. Yeah, I didn't see that one yet. So, but yeah, the white helmets guy, he's in the white helmets. If you know anything, you know that they're Al Nusra propagandists. They are in charge of doing all the fake chemical attacks and stuff in Syria.
They're the ones that their so-called doctors never have stethoscopes.
Yeah, they're medical first responders, not one stethoscope. They're supposedly treating people from chemical attacks, but no stethoscopes.
Well, you can tell if they're alive or dead after the chemicals. Are they breathing or not?
Yeah. That was blue, I think. Or not.
No, that was blue.
Where is he even barking at?
I think on the other.
Oh gosh, you have to go get him. So
it's fine.
And the funny part is the news is they're like, he was found outside of his apartment. You mean like splattered all over the sidewalk outside of his apartment, a little bit here and a little bit there. So anyways, I don't know. Apparently Iraq and Lebanon are still rioting and shit. Somebody's shooting missiles at the U.S. base in
Iraq. What about
Iraq.
Hong Kong? Are they still going at it?
Yeah, they're still going at it. Chile's still going at it. There's France is still having riots every weekend.
It's really a riotous occasion.
It's the NATO empire is falling apart, and this is what it looks like. The U.S. empire is in complete free fall collapse. And really, the biggest clue of it is the fact that nobody here in America will talk about any of it. You don't hear.
Well, the media is not. It's not what the script is.
Right. Like, does anybody know that the Fed's been printing money off and basically forcing it onto the rich people to take more money? Yeah. The Trump wants to do negative interest rates for the big banks.
Wow.
So basically, he wants to pay rich people to take more money from the government. Like, so that, I mean, we have a $23 trillion debt and a $1 trillion a year deficit.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, they're rounding up Cuban doctors. Then it's probably going to be a messy civil war in Bolivia or in Chile. I don't know what's going on there. Damn. Oh yeah, the one thing I saw about the Chile protesters is, they're corrupt. They are on video where the cops are snorting cocaine right in the streets
Wow.
in their riot gear.
Wow.
They're getting like all coked up before they go wade into the riots.
Well, it's a good way to go beat the hell out of people.
Yeah, that was the Chilean cops. So yeah, I did see that. Holy shit, the world is fucked up, people. But if you go back to your history, no, I don't know about those. I don't know much about the historical things, whether it's deep history or modern history.
Are they destroying the ancient ruins? Because that happens all over the place.
Well, they'd probably be looting them too. But
well, if there's anything left to loot.
But what happened in Nazi Germany? What did they do? They devalued their currency. Remember when the Germans would have to line up with wheelbarrows of money to buy bread and shit? It's because they intentionally devalued their currency, and then they paid off all of their World War I debts. And I'm wondering if America is trying to pull something similar, which means we're all fucked if they're devaluing the currency on purpose.
I'm sure we are anyway.
Right.
Pretty fucked.
Well, yeah, South America civilization is pre-Ice Age because they didn't get there until no, wait, not pre-Ice Age, unless it was 2 ice ages ago. Yeah, I think there was 2 ice ages in between migration waves from Russia over into North and South America. And here's a fun fact for you if you're into the whole anthropology thing, is the oldest Native American civilizations are in Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, and they progressively get younger and younger as you follow the coastline all the way up to the northeast, like New England and stuff like that, because humans follow the coastlines. So yeah, and the stuff that's in the Pacific Northwest would be on the order of 14.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, they were pretty high tech for their time, They did a lot of sciencey stuff in between the sacrifices.
It was sacrificed, for science.
So yeah, like the oldest Native American stuff would be like in Northwest, like Alaska lands and Pacific Northwest at 14,000 years old, and then the stuff on the East Coast is probably only like 9,000 years old, and then South America, like you mentioned, is like in the 11,000 year range, because it takes humans a long time to migrate, to spread out like the generations, obviously.
Well, yeah.
And yeah. Oh gosh. I don't know, man. But so yeah, if you want to be a freedom fighter, you can always go down to Bolivia and help fight against the right-wing coup people there.
Just get in your car and drive down there.
Yeah, well, you actually could. I don't know how far you'd make it. You have to get through the drug cartels of Mexico and whatnot. It'd be a rough trip.
Indeed.
I'm thinking we should get the van fixed up and up armor it and drive on down there.
I'll pack a few things.
Show the natives how things are done. Yeah, I hear you have a little war going on down here.
Well, I brought this brain damage chick.
That's jungle fightings. Wait, they're mountainous more in Bolivia, aren't they?
I
Not
think
sure of the
so.
geography. Yeah. So we'll up armor the van and head on down to Bolivia and teach the natives how to revolt against the fascist empire.
We're going to teach them. They're not just going to revolt on their own.
They're civilians. They don't. All their military leaders are a part of the coup, so they don't have any military experts to help them. It's going to be messy. And Evo fled the country, and I don't know if he has it in him to lead a revolution. I don't think he has it in him.
Probably not if he fled the country.
You know, like the white god. But goddamn cheap cigars, hate them. But it's and people don't realize there are little guys in there. There's going to be a shit ton of refugees fleeing out of Bolivia now. Yeah, they'd have good solar down there, being more equatorial located and
Well, yeah.
whatnot.
If
Yeah.
only we could afford to buy all that stuff and bring it down there.
Yeah. I probably am not up to snuff for building rail guns or anything, but wouldn't that be cool? Solar powered rail guns. I like that idea.
Doesn't really work when it's nighttime or cloudy.
When you have battery power. Rail guns. I like the concept of rail guns because basically you're just taking rocks and making them go very fast with electricity and
Nice.
magnets. Magnets and electricity. It's really cool.
Throws rocks far. Rocks go smash.
So yeah. Oh fuck. And I don't know where I was going with any of this. I'm just baffled. I'm like mind blown with. I like can't even get a response. It's like checking for a pulse on somebody who's like talking and looking around, but they have no pulse. That's what it's like trying to engage Americans with what's going on in the world.
Stay on topic.
I think he's trying to go out, Avi.
Yeah. He's still barking.
Yeah.
He'll probably bark like that till I go back in.
Yeah. They're building catapults. Who's building catapults? The protesters? Oh yeah, Hong Kong's. Yeah, they're rioting for the right to be a fucking imperial colony of America, basically. The other day they doused some probably homeless person in gasoline and tried to set him on fire. So those peaceful protesters in the news, they're trying to set people on fire. Just so you know.
You know, making a statement.
There's that. I don't even know what my name is on the Reddit. I think it's Warlord Pliskin. I'm not sure.
I'm Chuckhead Girl.
You're Chuckhead Girl. I'm Warlord Pliskin. Somebody's got to do the warring. So, oh fuck, fuckity fuck, fuck.
Yeah.
Trebuchets.
Well, that's a lot like a catapult.
They're different. No, they're totally different. A trebuchet is counterbalance.
Well, you're right. It is counterbalance.
Catapult.
But they both fling things.
Right.
Kind of like a scoopy thing.
But in totally different ways.
You're right. They actually
Trebuchet is more like seesaw shaped, and it has a big weight on one end, and actually it's more self-propelled, whereas the catapult goes straight off of beam tension.
hmm
Hot oil bomb. I haven't seen any of this stuff in the news. I generally avoid.
That's pretty old school
Yeah.
there.
I generally avoid the East Asia stuff because there's so many people there. You know, you got Pakistan and India that are trying to go war.
They're all, you know, bound to start fighting it out.
You know, and that's just going to be messy.
Peaceful protesting gets boring.
Yeah, exactly, clearly. And it accomplishes nothing. Then that's the whole thing. I'm not a pro-peace person. I'm a pro-war person. If you have a problem, you got to fight it out. That's how adults do things. You form armies.
Hey, you know, when you do peaceful protests, you get to make cool signs and wave them around, and that makes you feel important.
Now, yeah, we really showed them. We waved the signs around and stuff. But no, you got, if a cause is worth being a cause, if it's important and a real issue, then it better be important enough where you put your goddamn life on the line for it. Otherwise, you're just jerking off. Which apparently is
But that's what they want protesting to be
That's what
anyway.
well, they always want to do. Like the whole Gaza thing. They're like, they're shooting missiles and rockets indiscriminately. Well, they have no choice, you see, because they don't have forward observers because they're in an open air prison being genocided, and they're doing the only thing they can do, which is lob explosives and hope that they hit something important. You know. Oh yeah, it's just like the whole, they try to push Martin Luther King as like some peaceful thing, but without Malcolm X, that whole MLK thing never would have went anywhere because there was no teeth in it. If you're not willing to do violence, you're never going to fucking put the bad guys in their place. The bad guys have all the guns. They're more than willing to shoot you to death. So if you're not willing to step up to the plate and actually fight them, then nothing's ever going to come of it. The whole reason the whole civil rights thing in MLK was successful is because there was a Malcolm X. That's why the laws were made, because they needed, it wasn't MLK that was the problem. He was controlled. It was the violent Malcolm X party that got the job done. And that's something they don't like to mention in U.S. history, because they're disarming everybody's brains by saying that, you know, all this peace and stuff is the right thing to do. No, if you're being oppressed, if you're being violated, the only solution is to arm yourself and defend yourself with lethal force. It's right,
especially if it's at your school.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, they talk about the Constitution and the Second Amendment, but they never mention what the Second Amendment's for. It's to fight oppressive government. It's the whole point of it.
And your school, apparently.
And your school. What's with that? No, that's another thing on Reddit that's funny is I have SpongeBob and they Photoshop SpongeBob and fill up all of his holes, and they put and they go, difference between American school kids and European school kids. You know, so that's another funny Reddit one. Or the cheese compares.
Yeah. The cheese one was funny too.
American school kids are Swiss cheese.
Well, I think they had a slice of American cheese and a slice of Swiss cheese, and it said, like, you know, I don't remember. It said something.
Grandma, she's doing good so far.
Still been going.
Yeah, thank goodness. She's still doing her thing. I made the dinner for tonight, so gave you a
That was yummy. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's all going according to plan, I guess. I didn't have much else. Do we got questions or comments? Blue's still working.
Still barking.
I pretty much covered most of the important things happening in the world. It's amazing how fast it goes when you see.
And we covered the important things with us, which is the van.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So
It seemed like there was, sorry. It seemed like there was other stuff, but I don't remember what it was.
you see, and that's why there's another big clue that we're being censored and the media is all controlled, because you could do a 20-minute news segment every night and cover everything important happening in the world. You could do 20 minutes, and if you did it every night, you could be informed about everything going on in the world. It doesn't take a lot of time. Like me, now it's more of a chore because we got this internet all the time. Yep. And I spend less than an hour. I go through all the newspapers that I read.
So should we start doing a nightly news thing?
No, I don't got the energy for that. Oh no.
No, actually my chin is still pretty numb. And my jaw is still not feeling more wrong.
And it's winter and it's bone injury, so it's gonna probably
it aches more, and it doesn't feel like I can put that much pressure on it. Like it feels weird, like when I try to chew things.
You were able to eat the Sour Patch Kid thingies.
Except it felt really, really weird.
So no, I actually don't see that anymore. In fact, I don't see any newspaper deliveries in America.
Yeah.
I don't. I
even like you see, sometimes you'll see the old plastic little boxes that
but you never
papers
see
got into, but they're never used anymore. They're usually broken.
Yeah, I actually don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad. Yeah, so
putting kids out of jobs,
but
checking newspapers.
Yeah. That was a good job for kids. But yeah, it'll take time, Tanya. These when you get that damage, it takes years sometimes for stuff to heal up.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not going to ever be like it was.
Oh my gosh. They have a newspaper person in the retirement home.
Huh. Well, I would think so, because, they would want their newspapers to older people.
The actual newspapers.
Yeah.
So there's that. But don't worry, because our economy is about ready to collapse. And the scary part is that no one's talking about it. We have $1 trillion deficit, $1 trillion deficit, and we're warring. We're starting wars all over the planet, and we don't even have the military to actually throw at these wars. Oh wow, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
But seriously, if you have any spare money, invest in something like gold and silver coins or antiques of value, or actual things of value, and not money. No, we don't get trick-or-treaters. We didn't get trick-or-treaters.
It was raining, I think,
and we kept the lights off.
Yep.
But I only give our economy 1 or 2 more years left, especially if we have another bad crop season like this year. They're not going to keep being able to ignore these problems for long, because what happens as an adults out here, what happens to a problem that you ignore?
It goes away.
Yeah. But and no one's going to talk about it until it's all the bad things happen already. But the US dollar is going to collapse soon because it's not an if.
So there'll be no money and no food, and no nothing. See,
No, I think we stayed inside the house until the trick or treating time was
well,
done.
especially since it was raining.
Yeah. And they do that pretty early in the evening, so we didn't really notice it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And my grandma already said no trick or
no
treaters.
trick or treat. Like, but yeah, definitely like find antiques of value because or coins or something. If you can store away a few things, and they don't have to be huge things because antiques, small things are of value. You know, we got some antiques. There's blue.
And there's Blue. He's an antique.
Yeah. But things of value, like you want to invest in actual physical objects.
I guess I'm gonna have to go get them.
I guess we're gonna end here since our
Okay.
dog's barking and I'm done smoking. We'll be back. We'll try to come back sooner than we
Blue
did.
says hi and bye.
Yeah, we'll try to be back sooner than this time. And we had a long. We've
Yeah.
been busy, but
Hopefully we won't be so busy.
you know, and depressed. But whatever.
Yeah.
We're getting by. But we'll be back again later. Sorry, got to end early. We got a dog out here.
Bye.